Now here in Washington, House impeachment managers, those are the prosecutors in this case. They say in their pretrial brief that former President Donald Trump bears, quote, unmistakable responsibility, unquote, for inciting the January 6th riot and attack on the Capitol, calling it a, quote, betrayal of historic proportions, unquote, that demands judgment from the Senate. Our congressional correspondent, Rachel Scott, joins us now for more. Rachel, so that's the charge in this 90-page pretrial brief. How do the Democrats lay out their case against Trump?
Well, line by line, page after page, Terry, they really go into detail about the former president's desperate attempts to try and overturn the election. They say this did not start on January 6th. They go back months, all the way to the summer, when the president did not commit to a peaceful transfer of power months before the election. Then they go into detail about him pushing Georgia's Secretary of State to try and find nearly 12,000 votes so he could win there. And I want to read you some of what they say in this brief. They say that every argument that may be raised in President Trump's defense further demonstrates that he is a danger to our democratic system of government. Going on to add, he summoned a mob to Washington, exhorted them into a frenzy, and aimed them like a loaded cannon down Pennsylvania Avenue. And they push back against any claims that this is unconstitutional. For them, they say this is about holding Trump accountable. They also say it's about setting precedent, making sure that no one, not even a former president, can do what they are charging the president with: incitement of insurrection, Terry.
And Rachel, today was the day for filing briefs. So former President Trump's new legal team, they responded. They've got a legal defense, factual defense. Legal defense is that this trial is unconstitutional. Since he is no longer president, the Senate cannot lawfully try him. But on the facts, what do they say about the charge that Trump incited the insurrection?
Yeah, they are definitely pushing back against that. They're saying that it did not happen. And that single article of impeachment charges the president with incitement of insurrection. It actually uses his own words against them. They quote this phrase where the president said on January 6th, if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore. Well, the president's legal team denies that that phrase had anything to do with the action at the Capitol. They say it was clearly about the need to fight for election security in general, as evidenced by the recording of the speech. And then they go on to say that President Trump never intended to interfere with the counting of the electoral votes. Of course, we have to fact check this here. We know that former President Donald Trump even put pressure on Vice President Mike Pence to do something that he just was not constitutionally able to do. We know that the president had pushed not only in court, but also there on January 6th to fight to overturn the results of an election that he lost. And of course, this does leave open the case for them to argue election fraud right there in this impeachment trial. They seem to be open to that, and that is a case, again, that they have lost more than 50 times in federal and state courts, even the Supreme Court, Terry.
And they may lose again. Their trials have a logic of their own. Once an issue comes up, it's going to get litigated. Meanwhile, right behind you there, President Biden meeting with Republican senators trying to find some common ground on this giant rescue package for the pandemic, for the country in this pandemic. So tell us about that meeting. Was it a success? I mean, listen, I think both sides are saying here that they listened to each other, they heard each other out, but the White House is making clear today that they are not budging here. They want to go big, and it is big. It's nearly $2 trillion, but they say that the price tag meets the size of this crisis and that they need to meet this. They need to pass this $1.9 trillion relief package to get help to the American people. So you saw those 9 GOP senators go to the White House yesterday. They met with President Biden. They try to make their case. They're offering a much smaller package. It's $600 billion. Of course, there are some areas where they agree on getting out money for vaccinations, $160 billion for that, and testing. They want to get more money to small businesses. They agree that some size of some sort of check should go out to Americans, though they disagree on the overall number of that check. Bottom line here, Democrats are moving forward. They are in a position where they now have the White House, they have the House, and they have the Senate. So Democrats are now laying the groundwork to do this, to pass a resolution that would allow them to go at this on their own, to get through this COVID-19 relief package. It is something that Republicans have done before. They did it just 4 years ago when they had similar control of the House and the Senate and the White House. But also, though, this is going to raise some big questions for Biden. We heard him on the campaign trail pushing this message of unity, stressing it. And so there are a lot of questions that if he does this without Republicans, about any Republican support, what that says about his overall message, Terry.
It takes two to have unity, doesn't it? Rachel, I can't let you go without asking you about this extraordinary, really powerful moment from Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez when she spoke out last night in an Instagram posting in detail for the first time about her experience during the siege, the insurrectionist attack on the Capitol, saying she feared for her life. What are we learning about her, or dealing about her?
Yeah, for 90 minutes, she really went into this extraordinary detail about fearing for her life. At some point, she said that she even thought that she was going to die. Just take a listen.
I mean, I thought I was going to die. I felt that if this was the journey that my life was taking, that I felt that things were going to be okay. And that, you know, I had fulfilled my purpose.
So she, like so many other members of Congress, hid. She hid in the bathroom. She said she was hearing a man shouting, "Where is she? Where is she?" She then ran to a different building. Then she ran into another Congresswoman, Katie Porter. She then hid in her office. They barricaded themselves there inside. And she talked about how she was wearing heels at the time. And Porter had to find a pair of sneakers for her in case she had to run for her life. She also, for the first time, spoke out publicly about being a survivor of sexual assault. She related the two traumas together, saying that one compounds on top of another, and she was doing it to send a message, she says. She says, this is about holding people accountable. This is why we can simply not move on, she says, Terry.
The ordeal of an elected member of the House of Representatives still hard to fathom. Rachel Scott in Washington, thanks for that report.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.